Welcome back, everyone, to the Famiboards Discussion Club. Today, we're going to be discussing our first impressions of the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm once again joined by Irene
Hello, hello.
and VolcanicDynamo.
Come on, gotta get first place. Gotta get first place. Come on, I gotta win this race. I gotta wait. Oh, shoot, we're recording a podcast. Hi, everyone. Hey,
Is there a certain game you've been excited about?
uh, maybe a little,
Maybe
maybe a little.
maybe she's excited about a certain little game called Mario something.
Mario something. I'm not sure I've heard of it, but we can get into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
All right. In the past, it was I guess it's been a couple weeks now. The Switch 2's been out. We've all been very excited about it. It's sold like crazy. I think it's 3.5 million units in just 4 days. Who knows where it's at by now? Um, so it's pretty exciting time just to be following Nintendo news and whatnot. So I figured I'd start by mentioning that, and we had a question relating to that from Quantum's 00, which was everyone knows the Switch 2's launch is a huge success, but people keep talking about things that can kill its momentum. What do you think Nintendo needs to do to maintain the success of the Switch 2, and do you believe it's possible to match the Switch 1 and PS2's lifetime numbers?
I think the answer to the first question is relatively simple. Games, games. Games released, including in particular exclusives, though some cross-gen stuff is totally fine, at a reasonable rate, right? The fact that we had a good cadence of games is what helped the Switch 1 early on, and not having that is what killed the Wii U. Ultimately, having compelling software is what is going to get people to want to use the system, especially since we've already solved the issue of this being a device that people want to use. This isn't like the Wii U where people are wondering why there's a gamepad. The use of the Switch 2 is pretty obvious because of what we've seen with the Switch 1. So if you keep maintaining momentum with with quality game releases, then I think you achieve a lot of the same success that you would have gotten with the Switch 1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I Go ahead.
Uh yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be very interesting to see how the sales are faring. The first report coming in was like millions over the first weekend. We're getting into that now, and it it just makes me wonder if Switch 2 is going to be victim of the premium. I like to call it the premiumification of video games, where video games are getting more and more expensive and more like I mean, video games by inherence is a bit of a luxury hobby. But if it's gonna get even more than that, because now from what I've seen, like the narrative around it is that hey, Nintendo Switch is the system you buy if you're having like casual fun, both casual fun and wants to go into more deeper experiences, and for the portable play, of course. While the PlayStation 5 has had this status of this is the premium console that is the most expensive one and the most powerful, and with uh, these like high profile prestige first party games. And I wonder if Switch 2 is going to follow in the Switch 1's footsteps, or if it's going to fold into the more like PlayStation 5 status of being more of a premium product, because it definitely has like the price point and the graphical fidelity to like fit that kind of premiumification, but at the same time it has like the Switch install base is still so huge and so vast that I wonder how many of the Switch one's install base is going to buy the Switch 2 on the basis of like, hey, this is a more powerful Switch. And I've been thinking a lot of in those terms about how the premiumification of games is going to affect the Switch 2 long term, kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think Nintendo's kind of trying to have a foot in both worlds, as
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
fun casual system and the serious system. I think that's kind of like why they put Duskbloods pretty prominently in the in like the reveal direct. Um, but just for the Switch 2 to keep selling, I think what's going to be necessary is that children are going to continue needing to have birthdays. Students are going to need to
Yeah,
continue
totally,
graduating.
totally. Yeah.
Like, I think so long as something like so long as like Christmas keeps happening,
Hmm.
I think the Switch 2 will be all right.
Yeah.
That that's basically yeah, like if those stop, then yeah, it's in trouble. But otherwise, I think it's going to do just fine. Now, will it do Switch 1 and PlayStation 2 numbers? That's a little bit more of an ask because
Yeah.
those were both pretty lightning in a bottle.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The PlayStation 2, like arguably that's the I mean that not even arguably, I'd say that's the biggest like graphical leap we saw between like 3D consoles I think ever. Um, and Switch 1 just had so much going for it. Generational title at launch, very consistent software, ports to draw from the previous system, and then the pandemic also really boosted
Yeah,
things.
totally, totally. Yeah.
So I don't think I don't know if it'll quite hit that, but I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah.
I
What's
think 100. No, you first, Irene.
Okay, I just want to briefly fold into this is that I think it was interesting to comparing it to the PS2 is that PS2 launched with what the PS2 had going for it is that it was riding on a very household name, and that is exactly the position that Switch 2 is in also, that it is also riding on a very a very 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 household name. So obviously, the branding of the Switch is stronger than it's ever been, so that is definitely going to be a huge boon for it in terms of sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
All right, so suppose we can talk about the hardware of the Switch and the software. We can probably start with hardware. So I have a few questions from our community thread.
Yeah.
First one is from Marcel Argaz, which is how do you like the device ergonomic wise? Seems like it's does it seem like it's too large or too thin, or do you like it? And technical specifications aside, what aspect do you think's been the most improved compared to Switch One?
Well, I'll start with ergonomics because, as we've implied in the intro, I'm currently holding a Nintendo Switch 2 in portable mode
Hmm.
in my hands right now. Um, so my first immediate impression when holding this compared to what I remember for my Switch 1 is that this machine is definitely heavier
Uh
rather,
huh.
right? And I think that is going to impact long-term playability at least a little bit, right? But at the same time, I was one of those folks who never really minded the form factor of the Switch one too much. I think to give a comparison, I also have a Steam Deck, but I find that I can't play my Steam Deck for too long because the device is just a bit too heavy and just a bit too wide. The Switch 2 hasn't seemed to run into that issue just yet. Now, this might change after playing it more. I'm doing a lot of docked mode, a lot of multiplayer Mario Kart, but for now, I think the ergonomics of the device aren't too bad. Speaking quickly on ergonomics, I have to say that I actually think that one place where the ergonomics have decently improved, even though this wouldn't be my main way to play, is I think the Joy-Con 2 and the Joy-Con 2 grip are definitely a step up in comfort
Hmm.
from how it is for Joy-Con 1. Just the increased height and the slightly bigger other aspects of its dimensions make it a very comfortable little controller to play with, even if I will be defaulting to the Pro controller when I'm playing docked. But I like the option.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Like the thing you kind of alluded to this, but the Joy-Cons, they were serviceable on the Switch One, but like the grip with the Joy-Cons in it was definitely like the Player 2 controller, like the one like it's like no, I use the Pro controller, you use this one, and it doesn't feel compromised in the same way with the Switch 2. Like yeah, it helps that the buttons are bigger, but yeah, just like it's also more solid just because of how the magnets work. So it just kind of feels like you're playing with a regular controller rather than like this kind of split controller that's been connected with this device.
If I could talk about the magnets for just a moment,
Oh, the
one of my
magnets are so
biggest,
good.
yes, one of my
Snap,
biggest
snap, snap,
complaint,
snap, snap,
God,
snap, snap.
yeah, one of my biggest complaints with Switch 1 was that on all of my Joy-Con on both my Switch and my Switch OLED, the railing on very specifically the right Joy-Con would always get too loose. So I would constantly be bumping the device and that Joy-Con would be coming out. And that was one of my that would always drive me up a wall. It would make portal mode
Uh huh.
much harder to
Yeah.
do here. That's never gonna happen. Magnets, baby. It's so nice. I
Yeah.
love that. It's such a small thing, and yet it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I will say is better also, the controllers take less time to find the console in docked mode. Have you any of you
Hmm.
noticed that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
yes,
actually.
you're
Yeah.
right. No, for multiplayer, because I've been doing multiplayer quite a few times, I've noticed that almost immediately. Like, oh, this is a lot quicker. It's much easier to get into a game. It's again one of those small things you don't really
Yeah.
think about, but then it's like, oh, this is really nice.
Because first of all, if you have docked mode and you're turning it on, it makes a chime, that ding, something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
then because on Switch One, it drove me nuts to have the lights on the
Yeah,
controller like
yeah. I just
took forever to find. So this is much quicker, much more convenient. That has improved, and a special little shout out to like the different jingles that play. I love the eShop jingle. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I
Ding.
love the new sound design.
Yeah.
It's so such a simple change, but it still continues that very playful aspect while still feeling really fresh and exciting. Great, great stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
honestly, I didn't even have this in our notes, but the eShop is substantially improved.
Oh yes.
Like, and that's been
Whew.
really nice. Like, it still definitely has a bunch of shovelware, which I was kind of hoping they would
Yeah.
address a little bit more. But as far as like the speed of loading things, everything's kind of front and center. It's snappy. You don't like try to scroll down and then it takes forever to actually load. Like, I'm pretty impressed by that.
Yeah, there's so many small little things like, oh, when you go to your wish list, it lists which you can organize by things on sale now.
Oh yes. Yeah.
There's things that should have been basic, but it's still just nice to have. Like, there's like there's like a for you section now. Searching's better
Oh
feature.
yeah.
I
I love the for
clicked
you.
the
Yeah.
eShop. Yeah, and I clicked the eShop just for the sake of testing. I clicked it. Go in. I'm already in. I'm already in. There's like no loading anymore.
Yeah. It's so lovely.
Oh, thank goodness. This is gonna make actually getting games and having everything organized be so much better. I'm
Yeah.
so eager to actually use this to buy games again.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'm guessing here, but it seems like it's actually built into the system OS now, while as my understanding of the original eShop was it basically launched a browser window and operated through that.
Uh huh.
So
Okay.
maybe that's why it feels more responsive and snappy and it has like kind of embedded video play and stuff like that. I could see it.
Hmm.
That's just my guess, but yeah, it's definitely. I think that's one of the most improved, immediately noticeable things as far as like the OS and whatnot goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so delightful. Agreed.
Totally agree.
Okay, and then Suswave had asked us if we have any thoughts and feelings on game chat.
I do have thoughts and feelings on game chat.
Go ahead.
As they implied in the thread, we went on and we actually used game chat a few days ago, and I actually really like it.
Okay.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
yeah, the quality is good enough in terms of it picking up voices and in terms of doing stuff. I like the feature of being able to see the other person's game, but mostly I just like using it as voice chat, and for that purpose, I have to say the microphone built into the system actually does a really good job of only picking up voices. Only
Oh,
picking up
really? Cool.
voices. Yeah. all of the, I wasn't running into when I was playing with Sus, and I was also playing with their wife.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
we had no, I was not hearing any background noise from their living space, right? And they couldn't hear any background noise of mine. It was
Nice.
just our voices, and it made for a really fun time. It took some like tricky stuff. I'm getting an exclusive report. Suswave had an AC on, and
Uh-huh.
I'm learning this now because I could not hear it. I could not hear it
Oh.
while we were doing game chat. So yeah, I think the noise reduction, noise cancellation of outside stuff
Mm.
handles it really well, really well. So that on its own was already like a really impressive little aspect. So I'm looking forward to doing that more often, even without like the game, the more visual. Oh, you can watch the games features, right?
Uh-huh.
It's really nice. It's really nice. Um, Obviously, I don't necessarily see it supplanting like Discord for a
Mm.
lot of folks because so many folks have Discord, but I like that it is a built-in feature. We have
Mm.
built-in chat for
Nice.
for the PlayStation systems. We have built-in chat for Xbox. Might as well. It's nice that Nintendo has that as a feature, and I'm looking forward to using it more, testing it more, doing more stuff. Like Sussafe and I are actually more motivated to do more like online game stuff together because of game chat,
Oh,
and we are
that's
both very
wonderful.
excited for that.
Yeah, wonderful.
I'll be entirely honest. I have not touched game chat.
Yeah, me neither. So this question is all yours, Volcanic.
Yeah, I regarding the like microphone and the like eliminating background noise, I did see a bit of that because I picked up Welcome Tour and they have a demo for that where they're like go into a noisy room and talk into the microphone, filter out, and I did. Yep, it sure works. So that's
Oh,
I believe in the proof of concept, but I just have yeah, I didn't buy the like camera yet, either
I,
the
I,
like official one or the Piranha Plant one.
I
piano
got the
plant one.
I got the camera. I got the
Nice.
camera. Oopsie. You don't need obviously for game chat. Don't need the camera. I
Mhm.
bought it because I know because I know I'm going to be playing Super Mario Party Jamboree. I know I'm going to be getting that upgrade, and while I do have a USB-C webcam already, I wanted that to stay with the computer. I wanted something that was a little bit more bespoke. Luckily, for most folks for folks who don't know who are watching, you don't need to get the Nintendo camera specifically. Any like basic USB compliant
Oh, that's nice.
webcam will work.
Wow.
You could use the USB-C on the top, or the dock has USB ports. You can plug it into the USB-A port. So if you have any sort of webcam that's just basically that again just basic USB compliance, you can use that as your camera instead. You don't need the $55 Nintendo camera.
Oh.
I got the $55 Nintendo camera because I'm a fangirl now. Um, so yeah, I don't have much to report on the camera specifically. I hope to in the future. I will say this, it's very simple feature. I like how you can close it. I like how you can keep it shut and open it when you want. It's a very small thing for a webcam, but it's something that like in terms of like privacy, I appreciate the feature. It means I don't just have to unplug it. I can just close it. Simple, elegant. It's nice.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about the game chat. All right, so we can start talking about the software. So maybe what we spent day one playing. I figure there's two broad categories of games that this will fall into. So let's start with probably the flagship one, Mario Kart World.
Game good.
Yeah, game
It's
good.
good.
Game
It's
good.
so
Game
good.
good. Moving on. No, I'm kidding.
So Mario Kart World, I'll be honest, is the only game that I have played on my Nintendo Switch 2. Not my only Switch 2 game that I played on my Nintendo Switch 2, but has been the only game period, that I've
Oh,
put on my
nice.
Switch 2. I have not tried the Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I've not tried the GameCube NSO. I don't own Welcome Tour. I haven't tried any backwards compatibility, though I've seen videos. I've just been playing Mario Kart. And the reason I've just been playing Mario Kart is because Mario Kart World is a very, very good game. Um, so it's definitely. I think the first thing I had to keep in mind with it is that this isn't Mario Kart 8 slash Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so the game feel is different, right? It's how the drifts are heavier, and there's overall a little bit more like of a weight in physics to it, even on the
Nice.
lightest vehicles. There's the world structure is totally different to accommodate the open world. The Grand Prix has seen alterations. The Knockout Tour is a standout mode in terms of that. So it definitely is not trying to be Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart 9, as it were. So I think with some of those expectations out of the way, I think for the most part, for like 90% of Mario Kart World, it's a triumph. It really is. I think it does such a good job bringing a sense of not only doing something new and unique for Mario Kart, not that open world racing is a new concept, but the way it's been done for the kart racer is pretty great here. Again, not just with the Grand Prix, but especially for Knockout Tour. But honestly, I find that despite not having a lot of reward structures in it, I am finding myself very compelled by doing the free roam, slowly knocking out challenges, exploring these maps, which are way more expansive than you'd like necessarily like run into in some of these other modes. It's just really nice, and the game makes it so easy to just okay, I'm gonna like jump in, do a challenge, or go get a thing right from the menu.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
love that aspect of the game,
and
and
I have
it
only
makes
two.
it so
Oh, sorry,
nice.
sorry.
Oh, go
Uh,
on. No, I so yeah. Very, very, very good. Is it better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Necessarily, I don't want to say that because it's still so early on, and we're comparing from such different things. I think there's some things that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does better, but there are also things I like more about the structure of Mario Kart World. And all in all, it's really nice. It's nice that that both exist. That rather than just making Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 2, they decided to make Mario Kart World this new experience. Very, very glad we have this game, and I'm excited to eventually like learn everything about it. This is going to be the game I'm going to be playing like all generation. This is the game I'm going to play all generation without a doubt.
awesome.
So I am very much looking forward to like getting better at this game, enjoying the hell out of it, and just like doing everything I can with it. But yeah, great game, great game. I know I'm not even saying too much of substance because there's still so much I still need to uncover.
Uh
I've
huh.
only
Nice.
really done the 150 100 cc's. I've done a little bit of online. I've just been taking my time going now through the free roam, slowly clearing. I've done like 6 of the maps, but like there's so much love and character within this world. And as someone who really appreciated Mario Kart 8 for feeling like, oh, this is giving the Mario universe a sense of place, having this sort of like very theme park esque take on the Mario world for this has been extremely enjoyable. I adore what a lot of what they've done here. It makes even some of the more niner nitpicks like, oh, some of the character options are maybe a little imbalanced. Some of the unlocks can feel a little light. I think there could have been better ways to track a lot of the missions in the free roam. But even with those critiques, this is a great launch title. This is a great launch title. Um, I'm so eager to play more, and I probably will be doing that as soon as this podcast is done.
Fair
Amazing.
enough.
I have two things to say about Mario Kart World. One is that I think what applies to Mario Kart World is a similar thing that I say about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. While Super Mario Wonder is fun, or a freaking fantastic 10 out of 10 game, it would almost be just as fun if you removed everything except the movement physics, where the movement in and of itself is so good that it's half the game basically, where yes, the Wonder Flowers is what makes it worth playing, like the Wonder Flowers and the level design and everything. But Mario Kart World is like you can remove everything else except for the driving, and I would still play it because the driving is feel so. I'm more of a casual Mario Kart enjoyer, but I will say on a personal level, I think this controls better than 8 Deluxe, for sure.
See that again? There's a nice, really satisfying weightiness to
Yeah, I
it.
love the weightiness.
Yeah,
And
yeah, not that Mario Kart 8 ever controlled badly necessarily, but I
yeah,
do think that the fact that this feels like pleasantly heavier makes for
uh-huh.
something that is really fun to sort of like, especially once you get a handle of it, just like zip around, and then you can like, and then you're just like bouncing up, then you're just doing your jumps, and you're bouncing on the rails and driving on the walls. You're riding over the water like you're doing wave race. It's game good. I love video games. I
Yes.
love video games.
And
I've heard people make the go ahead.
the second thing I would say about Mario Kart World is two words I want to really get out there:
To it.
photo mode.
Oh,
Photo
absolutely.
mode.
Yes, that's like I love the free roaming because of photo mode. Because some people have said like, oh, the free roaming, there's not much to do, and like the rewards or activities are like lackluster. But I personally think that photo mode is so fun and so good that it's like enough of a reason for me to do free roam. Like I can do free
Hmm.
roam for photo mode exclusively, just striking poses with Rosalina, maining Rosalina, of course, over here, and I love photo mode so much. It's so much fun to do that in free roam. So definitely,
Honestly, my only critique of photo mode, I wish you could use all of the stickers you unlock from all the
uh-huh.
missions and all that stuff. I wish you could use those as little stamps on your photos. That is my only critique
Yeah,
of the photo mode.
that would
Beyond
be
that,
nice.
beyond that, I love having photo mode. And honestly, I need to go and do it more. Give me more pictures of Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Give me a Volcanic's gender simulator, please. Please and thank you.
Yeah. Oh my god,
So, quick
yes.
thing, we got Steve in chat. What's up, Steve?
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Um,
Steve.
and just kind of some quick thoughts for me on Mario Kart World. I've heard people make the comparison that Mario Kart World is to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe what like Forza Horizon is to like Forza Motorsports,
Yeah,
where you just kind
totally.
of have that more open focus on kind of the experience of driving versus like the competition of driving, which is still there, but
Hmm.
it's just
Yeah.
presented in a new way. And yeah, I would agree that like World doesn't really replace Mario Kart 8 so much as I think it will exist alongside it. I actually expect Mario Kart 8 to continue to sell well and people to get
Continue
mad
to
about it.
thrive. Yeah, yeah.
But no,
It,
I've really enjoyed my time. Like Volcanic, you said you were kind of going through it slowly. Have you like done all of the racing cups and whatnot?
I've done them all in 100cc. I'm playing them with friends, so
Okay.
rather
Okay.
than
Yeah.
playing them on my own. So I've played 150 on like with friends online, but I've not done the 150 cups yet.
Uh huh.
So I'm get so I that's so I'm definitely so I'm getting to that, but
Sure.
not yet. I will probably get to them probably starting to. See. I was gonna say getting to them today, but realistically, I'm actually gonna be doing 100cc knockout tours today.
That's fair.
But it's been a lot of fun. I know about and now I'm also slowly like making my way through the free roam stuff. So basically trying to clear out parts of not parts of the map, at least going by like in like the Grand Prix order, not necessarily doing it as strictly or as intensely. Like I don't think I'm gonna find almost 400 of these dang peep switches or all 200 of the Peach medallions, but I'm gonna do my best to find as many of them as we can and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then so I guess what I was kind of really asking when I said if you'd played all the cups, have you played Rainbow Road?
Oh,
Yeah, of
Rainbow
course I played
Road.
Okay.
Rainbow Road.
Okay.
Oh
I was gonna
no,
say this
Rainbow Road is
Rainbow
such a
Road.
cool one.
I don't know if it's quite my favorite because I like Mario Kart 7 quite a bit. and Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road, and Mario Kart 64. I'm just like a sucker for that nostalgia. But this Rainbow Road is very like leaves a great first impression, and I really appreciate it. It's gonna be like kind of I think a generational highlight for me. Um,
Yeah,
I think
Rainbow.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you can go first. You can go.
I think it's specifically when you do like the launch into space and like you have like the blackness of space contrasted against the space station that you land on and
Yeah.
keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe like that really impressed me. That was just like a really good moment.
Yeah, it's just it's such a nice spectacle to end the game on. Is
Mhm.
it the most complex Rainbow Road? No, but it's got the pretty stained glass, and then you're driving on the water, and then you go on the spaceship, make those tight turns, and then you see the train, and then you see the train again, and there's like Robo DK on it, all the cameos again. It's such a triumphant feeling, such a nice way to end the game. And you know what? Sometimes I just want a course where I can just do. I don't need to do the rail grinding. I don't need to walk. I just want to do my silly little tricks. I just want to do. I mean, I just want to do my drifting, and
Yeah.
that's all I need. And I think this Rainbow
Same.
Road really serves that feeling. So yeah, great course, a wonderful little finale to the game. Um, I'm very eager to do that in like a truly like an online like 150. Still have to unlock the mirror mode, but at
Oh,
this
Yeah.
point, I have all of the free roam requirements for it. I just gotta do I just have to play all the cups and unlock it that way.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Rainbow Road inaccessible from free roam?
I believe it is inaccessible from
yeah,
free
exactly.
roam.
It's like a special for the cups only.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, I guess that helps maintain it being special, but
Yeah,
I
totally,
would
totally.
like to explore it and get photos in it and whatnot, but that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so the basic summary of all this is game good.
Yep. Yep.
Game Good doesn't necessarily replace Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but stands as its own little thing. I'm very few minor problems don't detract from this being a really strong experience. Great launch title. Is it Breath of the Wild? I don't know, but hey, look at that! Breath of the Wild gets to be a launch title twice. Segway.
Does, and speaking of game good, still good.
yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, so if I recall, okay, yeah, so Volcanic, you said you weren't playing those because you've only been playing Mario Kart, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I will be
Um,
playing it at some point, and I've seen the videos. It's really gorgeous to see this game running at like a super smooth 60.
Yeah.
Both of them, both Breath and Tears. Gorgeous.
so I
Gorgeous.
I have not played Tears of the Kingdom yet. I decided to do my full playthrough of Breath of the Wild before I go to
Yeah.
Tears.
Same here.
Irene, I know you're kind. Oh, I thought you were doing both.
No, I am doing both. Because I uh, I'm of the opinion that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom works like both sides of the same coin. That playing them
Mhm.
back to back is really cool because it feels like this one ginormous, gigantic adventure. If you're playing them back to back, so I was like, when Switch 2 is arriving, I'm playing them back to back. So I finished Breath of the Wild yesterday night and started Tears of the Kingdom a little bit after that. So I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom all day today.
It's fast.
Nice.
And to get the tech side out of the way and just like give like what I personally think about the tech stuff. I'm not a pixel counter, so chat, feel free to correct me if I slip up with something. But I have like a both like a 4K monitor and an HDR monitor, but the HDR monitor does not have 4K. So I've been comparing them between HDR and 4K, see what mode benefits what mode benefits the games the most, right? And HDR obviously looks great, but since Breath of the Wild, most of all, Breath of the Wild has such a washed out color palette, I think it benefits from it, but not as much as more colorful games would do, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
But as for resolution, holy shit, dang! And
Mm.
I'm saying this because I was playing it and I was like, okay, this is really good. I don't know if it's 4K or 1440p. I've found like so many different like variations of the question. Like some people say it's 1440p, some people say it's 4K, some people say it's upscaled. Some and so I'm just saying it's up, referring to it as the upscaling. And the thing is that to make a direct comparison, I first played Breath of the Wild, Switch 2 edition, then I booted up Breath of the Wild on Wii U.
Oh.
And let me tell you, Breath of the Wild on Wii U, while the art style still holds up and it shines through, the actual game, the resolution and the frame rate, it looks like you took the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild and uploaded it to Pirate Bay in like 2005. That's how awful it was, the return to Wii U version of Breath of the Wild.
Like you can't go home again.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I've only played Breath of the Wild so
Uh-huh.
far, but the thing that first really stuck out to me, I noticed obviously the resolution bump and the frame rate bump
Yeah,
initially,
yeah.
but the thing that like really put it into focus is when I first saw fire in the game.
Oh, fire looks really good in the increased frame rates. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like 60 FPS fire just hits way differently than 30 FPS
Yeah.
fire.
I had a similar situation. First of all, it might just be me, but I actually think Tears of the Kingdom looks sharper than Breath of the Wild in the
I believe it,
upscaling.
yeah.
Hmm.
I might again. I'm not a pixel counter, so maybe I'm wrong. But I had one moment where I was fighting a flux construct, and when I defeated the flux construct, the camera sort of zoomed in, so one of the blocks was like really in your face, and you could see every single detail of the block in crystal clear.
Ooh.
Like it looks so good.
That sounds gorgeous. Once I'm further along with Mario Kart, I'm eager to finally do another replay of Breath of the Wild and
Yeah.
finally finish Tears of the Kingdom. Finally can end that long-running podcast gag.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Podcast gig.
Yeah.
I still haven't touched, but now I have to wait because I want to do Breath. Because now I want to do now I want to
Yeah.
do Breath of the Wild again. My first full playthrough of the game since I finished mine in 2017, and then 2018, and then later on with the DLC. So it's gonna be fun to go back to that.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
I think what I meant when I said that they kind of belong together is that when you play Breath of the Wild and then you play Tears of the Kingdom directly afterwards, it kind of gives you the same feeling of like becoming adult Link in Ocarina of Time or entering the
Yeah,
Dark World in, because the transformation Hyrule goes through and the looming threat of Ganondorf gives you that sort of like holy shit feeling that this is where the adventure really starts, and that's a really cool feeling to experience when you play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom after one another.
I'm very eager to experience that for myself.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
Yeah.
really cool.
I'm really intrigued to kind of see like yeah, the small changes that you might notice between the editions when you play them back to
yeah,
back
yeah,
is
yeah.
when I had started my new Breath of the Wild playthrough, I looked at my old save file and I hadn't played since 2019.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So there which Tears of the Kingdom came out in 2023 and I like still felt like I was coming pretty fresh off of Breath of the
Oh, yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
But I'm sure there's a bunch of things that like how like some of the characters have aged, like especially like the children.
Yeah, so
Um, because it's supposed to be what like a 5-ish year gap between games, or
yeah,
I think it's kind of ambiguous, but
people going through the age of Mattison, which is the
mm,
kid that Hudson and Ronson had in Tarrytown, because they got married in Breath of the Wild, and the kid is like 4 or 5 years old in Tears of the Kingdom. So that's what people use as a reference to how long time has passed.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
And sorry, go ahead.
now you can go.
Just kind of speaking a little bit more about Breath of the Wild, I'm going through it pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my current playthrough, I've got like 6 hearts, 2 extra slices of stamina wheel. I'm very much trying to try and get the Master Sword and complete the memories before I even like step into any of the plot settlements. So we'll see how that goes because I think that'll be fun just to like show up kitted with the Master Sword and everything for whenever that happens.
You have to go. You
Um,
have to go in as lore accurate Link.
oh, absolutely. I gotta wear the blue shirt. Gotta. But yeah, and then I've kind of been posting takes on Blue Skies I've been playing. But just the other day, I was kind of wandering around, just going in random directions, seeing if I could find shrines. And then I heard for the first time the Guardian music, and
Oh
like
yeah,
I kind of forgot, like yeah, like when you first encounter Guardians just like out in the wild, they're like pretty overwhelming and pretty ridiculous to like you just want to run. Like they're very effective what they want to be. And like I remember playing like towards the end of Breath of the Wild when yeah, you have like the Master Sword, you've got a ton of air, you've got triple shot Lionel bows,
oh
like
yeah,
everything
yeah,
else. And you can kind of just like take them out, no problem. But like until you hit that threshold, no, like they're terrifying.
yeah. They
Ooh.
absolutely are. They're terrifying. And Tears of the Kingdom has a similar effect when you go into the depths. When you go into the depths at the beginning of the game, because then you meet like black enemies. You have four hearts. There's gloom everywhere. You don't have any like gloom resistant meals on you. It's just like it's really tough and you die a lot, but it's so fun because it's so challenging and rewarding.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
and Steve makes a good point in the chat that since Breath of the Wild was originally a Wii U game and Tears of the Kingdom was built for the Switch, it kind of has that higher built-in ceiling just as far as like what they could put into it to begin with.
yeah,
So yeah, that's
absolutely.
definitely worth noting.
Absolutely.
And I want to touch a bit on Zelda notes. Have you
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
experimented with
absolutely.
Zelda notes, Weste?
I turned it on and walked around, but I didn't run into anything yet.
Okay,
It's
because
mostly been like wild exploration, so like I am sure if
yeah,
I go to a town or something, I'd hear something. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you apparently I actually just learned it because I thought you had to switch to the voice memory. In the app, there's like several apps within the app. One is the navigation, where you find like whatever you want to find. You can activate the filters that you can find spots for Korok seeds, spots for memories, spots for shrines, etc., etc.
Can't wait to finally get all the Korok seeds for once.
Yes.
Okay, I will never do that. Anyway.
And then you can find the voice memories too. I thought you had to go into the voice memories app again. Then it kind of plays a sensor that triggers Zelda's voice, but apparently you can use the navigation app for that too. So I'm going to try it more in Tears of the Kingdom. But the voice memories are pretty cool. It's basically like lore tidbits that obviously like Zelda Tube has gone wild with it because it references like it just rips the continuity apart in
I've
a
seen
really
some of that in
fun
the
way.
timeline thread. Yeah.
Yeah, and but I will say that I said this during our Switch 2 reaction stream, but I will say that auto-build sharing is the best thing that has happened in my life since coming out as trans. It's so cool. It's unbelievably cool, and I haven't like even like started yet properly um uh, because I want to like beef up my battery a bit before I go to the Hyrule Engineering subreddit um, and get the QR codes from there. Because I want to beef up my battery a little bit so I don't get like a super crazy build that just craves so much battery. But I've been checking out, and they have a special flair for QR codes, and I've been checking out some of the wildest shit that you can possibly imagine, and I'm just giddy with excitement that I can use this in my game. I can download this. Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, it's an unbelievable feature to have in a game like this, and I just can't wait to properly dig into it once I beefed up my battery a little bit. And I also want to do a brief plug for the Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition ST. I just wrote today that now I'm going to be updating the OP with QR codes. So if you have any cool builds you want to share them in the thread and we'll get to it.
Give me all the cool builds so I can make my playthrough easier. Let me actually be able to finish Here's the Kingdom, please, and thank you.
Legit piece of advice just for enjoyment of the game.
Yeah?
There's a very this is more for Volcanic when she plays, but there's a very common build of like a hover bike that a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people
yeah.
use in Tears of the Kingdom. It's super easy to build and whatnot. If you do it, I would say try to only use it in the depths.
Yeah.
So so don't use the game-breaking hover bike. Got it.
Don't use it in the overworld because there's like things the game wants you to see, like even like plot things or environmental storytelling,
Yeah.
and you would miss a lot of that. While the depths are more kind of a like playground to like they're intended for vehicles and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. I
that's just
agree.
like a heavy recommendation I've got.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't use the hover bike build at all when I was playing originally,
Mhm.
so I will probably limit my usage of the hover bike. I want, for all you people on the thread, make cool stuff. Give me cool stuff to use. Don't give me the optimal stuff. Give me the cool stuff.
We're giving you cool
And
stuff, Volcanic. We're
and
giving you cool
I'll,
stuff.
I'll have to and I'll have to test and I'll have to judge and maybe we'll have to do a new segment of the podcast called "How is Volcanic doing in Tears of the Kingdom?" What
Yes.
build
Yeah,
has she
return
tried out
Titan.
this time?
Awesome.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, but again, kind of what we said at the start, game's still good.
Game
That's
still 10 out of 10. Both of them, yeah.
all right.
Unbelievable.
So I would say those, at least for our group specifically, would be the highlights of the Switch 2, the Mario Kart, and the Zelda remasters. But
Hmm.
is there anything else anyone picked up that they'd want to talk about as far as the Switch lineup? I picked up a few games. I know Volcanic, you'd said that you'd only been playing Mario Kart World.
There are
Um,
Switch 2 games other than Mario Kart World?
I hear that there
What's
are.
a Deltarune? Nah, what's that?
I
I've only played the first chapter of Deltarune, so I'll eventually kind of slam through that. But
Me
anyway,
too. Me too.
the thing
Irene,
Deltarune
is
Chapter
that
1.
go ahead.
You go first, Irene.
I don't think many hardcore Undertale fans still have any idea what Deltarune is about because there's so many theories about it.
That's, you know
Fair
what? That's
enough.
fair. That is fair. I'm surprised I haven't played Deltarune yet because I'm a pretty big Undertale person. I
Uh-huh.
loved first game. I played Deltarune Chapter 1 the day it was released. I've not played Chapter 2 yet. It came out at kind of
Uh-huh.
a weird time. Like when did it come out? Deltarune Chapter 2 came out
2021.
it was 2021. It
Yeah.
was September. It was right before my birthday. And I think,
Yeah.
oh, that's what happened. I think, yeah, because Hades version 1 point, like the Hades, didn't Hades come out at around, no, it came out the previous. No,
Yeah, 2020.
no, it didn't. It came out in 2020. It came out in 2020.
Yeah.
I am a liar. I feel like something came out, um, in 2021 around that time that caused me to not have time to play. Oh, it was probably honestly, it was probably because 3D All Stars came out the very
Yeah,
next.
yeah,
No, it
that
wasn't. It
makes
wasn't
sense.
three. No, it wasn't 3D All Stars. What am I saying? Because that was also 2020.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the scope of
Oh, okay,
time.
that's true. That's true. Sorry.
Something. I think something came out around that time, or I was focused on another game around September 2021 that caused me to not be able to play Deltarune Chapter 2, and I just forgot about it. Um, I want to correct that, but I also kind of want to play through Undertale again. So I think I'll play through Undertale on Switch 2, the Switch version on Switch 2. Then I'll play Deltarune. And beyond that, in terms of Switch 2 exclusives,
Yeah.
um, I might get Welcome Tour, but Donkey Kong is probably the one that I'm going to be getting next.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
So hyped for Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. Uh,
Any other
Uh,
pickups?
no,
I picked up. Oh, go ahead.
nothing for me. No.
Okay, I did a few pickups. The ones I'd probably want to talk about are Welcome Tour because I actually did like Welcome Tour. It's exactly the kind of thing that would have appealed to me as a kid. Um,
Awesome.
'Cause it does a great job of just being like, here's how things work, and then it quizzes you on it, and then if you get the questions right, it praises you. And I was like, if this had happened to me as a child, I would be a different person right now. Um, anyway,
Love that for you.
But no, it's really cool just to kind of see like a deep dive into the hardware. You get demonstrations that like from things like how the mouse controls work to how like DLSS works to just like a bunch of cool stuff like that. So yeah, welcome tour. If you're curious, I know there's a lot of discourse on this. I'd say it's worth the $10. I enjoyed it. And then the kind of surprise game that I've been playing quite a bit since Switch 2 launch, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time.
Nice.
Is it stealing your time, West?
It is stealing my time. I don't think I've played it as much as the others, but I do still have like a 6 or 7 hours in it.
Hmm.
And it's like it's definitely in like kind of like the cozy RPG genre where it's surprising because you think it's going to be one kind of game where like you're like okay this is going to be a game based around like crafting and stuff and doing other things and it's like okay but there's also dungeon exploration so you go out and do that and then like suddenly it becomes Animal Crossing and
Nice.
and that's cool and then it becomes kind of Breath of the Wild
What?
and
That's
like I'm not
awesome.
even
You sold,
kidding.
well, I think you sold this game to Irene.
Yeah, you
It's
did.
just
You
the game's like the game scope keeps opening up and like it's just really ridiculous. But it's been pretty fun. That's been like my surprise hit of the Switch 2 launch.
cool, really cool.
Which it was on Switch 1 and my understanding is it didn't run super well.
Uh-huh.
So like I'd say if you want like if people who are unsure like don't have a Switch 2 yet, I'd still probably say it's worth getting with the idea you could just upgrade down the road for like I think it's like $2 or
Uh-huh.
250.
Oh, wow, that's a really cheap upgrade path. Bless them.
But yeah, aside from that, I picked up kind of like there's I guess like Street Fighter, which I've messed around a bit, but nothing really too substantial.
I like the idea of getting a Street Fighter for Switch. Like I remember back when the 3DS pop came out, I got Street Fighter 4, but I will admit to myself that I don't have the time to get good at fighting games. So
Oh no.
I will appreciate Street Fighter players from afar and root for them, but I will
Yeah.
not have the time to put into it myself.
All right, so we got a few more questions. First one from Steve, who'd asked, "What are your first thoughts when you had the chance to play the system, and what were the first games that were auto impressed?" We kind of talked about that, Mario Kart and Breath of the Wild and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I guess I do kind of want to turn that a bit and just say like your feelings and emotions and whatnot when you just like picked up the just like started playing it for the first time.
It arriving on
Well,
time was a blessing.
Mhm.
Literally, like,
meanwhile,
yeah, I had ordered it, I pre-ordered it, but I literally like woke up, saw the text message, and 3 hours later I could pick it up at the post office. So that was high emotions, and I just want to sum up my feelings of unpacking it and holding it in my hand with a few words. Snap, 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 snap. It is so fun to snap the magnets. It's
Yeah.
it. There's a reason that they focused on it, like with both the new logo, like you see the control snapping in, and also like in the initial reveal, it was like a huge feature there. So yeah, the magnets were cool, and I'm like a 99% docked person. I sit home a lot, and I also don't really like take this Switch to commute because it's so big that I'm like paranoid that someone is gonna peer over my shoulder and look what I'm playing. I had a Switch Lite
nothing
for
to see how cool you are with all of your new builds in Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah, I could like tilt it to intentionally show it to the passenger beside me.
Exactly. You understand now.
Yeah, but overall, premium stuff. Magnets are fun, and I was grateful to have it. And the games that were impressing me the most was like Breath of the Wild impressed me, but Tears of the Kingdom has impressed me even more. Uh, Especially with like the resolution bump and how good it makes everything look.
Meanwhile, people got their Switches on time. Don't know them. Don't know
Oh no,
that.
yeah, that's
How late was yours?
I didn't get my system until Monday, and I actually still haven't gotten
Oh,
all of my order from GameStop. I gotta call
Oh, dang.
them
oh no.
and figure that out. So that's gonna be fun. So I got my system last Monday. I did
Uh-huh.
not get it on launch day. So I'm technically 4 days behind everyone else because GameStop is a terrible company
Oh,
who
dang.
oversold Switches and didn't tell people, and are now just saying, "Oh, because of that, I had to call to find that out." So this is your friendly reminder to do not pre-order anything from GameStop. Do not give them their business because they will waste your time. They
Oh, dang.
wasted my time,
I'm so
and I
sorry.
don't want anyone else to have their time wasted. So please do not, if you can avoid it, because yeah. Um,
So,
but my Nintendo order, which for some reason didn't track, did arrive that Monday. So because I was ordering a Switch for my father as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna get him what the Switch when the other Switch arrives. I'm gonna give that to him. He was okay with it. So thank you, Nintendo, for actually saving my last week from being the most torturous experience known to mankind.
Awesome.
wow.
Or like
That being
not awesome that you
oh,
had
also for
got that,
Nintendo.
but
Yeah.
awesome that you
Yeah.
finally got it.
Yeah. That being said, magnets the magnets are great. I found that yeah, opening the Switch up, the fact that the box was so small was pretty neat already. But opening it up, seeing the system, feeling even honestly, here's a very small thing that I really love: the texture of the new Pro controller and of the new Joy-Con. I like this sort of like this kind of matte plastic
Yeah,
that
that's
they've
really
used with
cool. Yeah.
that slightly rubbery texture. I really enjoy the feel of it. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy it compared to the original because I like the feeling of the Switch and the original Pro Controller well enough. I'm holding like the original Pro Controller in my hand, and yeah, it does have this sort of like plasticky kind of feel, which is fine enough. But I pick up Pro Controller 2, and it has this kind of nice and premium feeling to it because of the sort of rubbery plastic that I really enjoy. So I'm glad that whenever I'm playing the Switch, I get to like have that in my hands instead of the old style stuff. Just it's a small thing that makes the experience a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree with
So,
that.
speaking of terrible companies, I had pre-ordered my Switch 2 from Walmart,
Oh no.
but they delivered it at 6:30 a.m. and they also included Pringles and a Coke. And so I was very begrudgingly forced to be like, okay, Walmart, you did good by me. Like,
Oh, dang.
you're,
Yeah.
you're still kind of evil, but you did a good job. It's one of those things when like you have to like begrudgingly be like, okay, I see why you're successful, and that bothers me. But
Yeah. I
anyway,
yeah, I had the same slight tangent, but when my controller broke on Switch 1, I sent them to the Swedish Nintendo distributor, Bergsala. I was like, yeah, it's
Mhm.
broken, it's got drift. Yeah, it got drift. They're like, oh, we understand, just send it and write that it has drift. And they sent me back, it was fixed, and they sent me a Switch screen cleaner and candy. And it was like, yeah, nowadays people are like rallying on Reddit to like report you because you're pricing the Switch 2 so high, but you brought me candy, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how much candy can fix. All right, like slight tangent, but this is something like in my job we actually do sometimes order fairly equipment, and for whatever reason they include snacks sometimes with it, just for like the engineers working on it,
Oh,
and
Incredible.
that's like a very sound business strategy. All right, so we got some questions from Chocolate Supra. First, if you've played Welcome to Her, what was your favorite, most surprising demonstration? I think I'm the only one that has played Welcome to Her.
The
yeah.
floor is
Um,
yours, West.
I'd say there's a lot of mouse games, and it's just kind of interesting how well they work. Because in the games we talked about, Mario Kart and Zelda, like the mouse doesn't really show up but it does a really great job of demoing like the mouse functionality, how you can like rotate the mouse kind of as opposed to like a normal mouse and get different results. All of the demos in general have been great. Uh, like I mentioned earlier, there was one where it shows off the voice filtering or whatever for GameChat. Various ones that show off how like HD Rumble's improved, how upscaling works and stuff like that. So just all around, I've been pretty impressed with the package.
That's really cool.
And then there was another question from Chocolate Supra. If you've played Mario Kart, which we have, what's your favorite region of the map?
That's a really good question. I'm
I,
still making my way through the free roam on the map, so I can only kind of speak a little bit from like doing the Grand Prix a few times, doing a little bit of explorations. I'm honestly pretty fond of that initial starting area, that sort of mesa area. That sort of feels very Route 66 coded that then leads into Crown City, but then you could go to Whistle Stop Summit. I think that area is one of the most is very visually distinct and does a great job of like setting the mood in terms of that. So that's a highlight. In terms of groups of tracks, I really do like the forest area leading into the plains leading into Rainbow Road, that special cup set. I think that and the pathway to it. And I always love the aesthetic that they go for with Peach Stadium. They did this with Mario Circuit on Mario in 7 and Royal Race 1 8 where they do like the pink sakura petals surrounded by like the red and white castle and the green grass line is just mwah, mwah, chef's kiss. I love that look of that area. Um, and honestly, it's hard to pick a favorite because there is such detailed and such interesting and varied locales. One area I haven't explored a lot, but I want to do explore more is sort of like the vacationish area, the Peach Beach leading into Salty Salty Speedway. That area gives me good vibes. I want to do more of that as well.
yeah, my favorite area is on in general. I love the water in the game and
Hmm.
the water like wave race style. 8 Deluxe stopped people momentarily for asking about F-Zero, and Mario Kart World is momentarily stopping people from asking about Wave Race because there's wave racing in this game. And that's also where
Yeah.
you get the sickest photo mode photos out in the ocean. So I definitely love just like trekking around in the ocean on the waves. I love the water physics are like really good. And just roaming around in Mario Kart World gives me like Nintendo's take on Grand Theft Auto in the way that you mount a bike or a go-kart or like you have a car in Grand Theft Auto, but you get the point. Because in Grand Theft Auto, that's like, okay, you can do shit, but the most fun thing is to drive around aimlessly and listen to dope music. That's exactly what you're doing in Mario Kart World because you're driving around and listen to dope music because this soundtrack goes hard.
I can't believe I haven't mentioned the soundtrack
It's
yet. This is
so
an
good.
incredible set of remixes, consistently amazing from top to bottom. I love how this game sounds. I love the remixes they went for. Like the original music in the game is great as
Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
but the
absolutely.
remixes they really so they went out for this rather than rely primarily on Nintendo's in-house composers. They hired a variety of jazz players and folks who are known for arranging music. For example, one of the
Oh, that's
folks
cool. Yeah.
who did the music for this game also did was also one of the people who handles and leads a lot of the arrangements for the Splatoon concerts. And you
Ooh.
can definitely see that kind of energy in these arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
200 plus songs from Mario history, from Mario Kart history. It is the variety and the scale of what they pulled from the main series and the scale and just how many remixes they did is just it is incredible. It's extremely hard to pick a favorite. That being said, does anyone have a favorite song
I love the
from this game?
I love the Luigi's Mansion jazz. That one's good.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Like all the remixes.
Something like that. Yeah. That's a really good track.
How about you, Wes? Do you have one?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I know I really enjoyed the rendition of Mario or Super Mario World credits theme.
Good
Dire
taste.
Docks was nice to hear.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
it's stay in there.
there was a Gusty Garden, and Gusty Garden's every
Mm-hmm.
invitation. Yeah, just
Oh,
all around great site or
yeah.
great soundtrack.
I love the
Um,
remix. Just looking at the list of songs that we know of right now, the remix of the Super Mario Kart title screen music. I love that track.
Hmm.
I love both versions of Dolphin Shoals. The nighttime version of Sunshine Airport, the city pop ass remix of that, incredible. Both remixes of the underground theme from Mario 1. Um, all of the Mario World remixes are near and dear to my heart. Them remembering Mario Land 2 and Wario Land and Mario Land 1, that just brings joy. Other ones, the Mario 64 remixes.
yeah.
Dire Docs for sure. I love listening to the slider. I'm just going through the list right now. Oh, the eggplant remix and the Space Junk remix. The Space Junk remix is so good too for nighttime.
Is there is
Um,
there a remix for Cosmic Cove from Galaxy 2?
I don't think we have a Cosmic Cove remix for
Okay,
Galaxy
that's
2.
my
Just
favorite
the Galaxy
That's
2, but
my
not Cosmic Cove.
okay. That's my favorite Galaxy track, so that's a bummer.
That
There's
is a
like
shame.
200. It might be in there somewhere, but
Yeah, but there's a decent amount of Galaxy 2, but not that one so far as we know.
Oh, okay.
The Double Cherry Pass remix and the Chain Link Charge remixes. Mwah, 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 mwah,
Mom, mom,
mwah.
mom, mom, mom.
Those are just a few of the highlights. Oh, I cannot forget. Um, can we talk about that Baby Park remix for a moment, please? Can we talk about that, please?
We can.
yeah, it's good.
Because I was just looking at the comments of like the soundtrack uploads. I needed something to sort of get me through my weekend without Mario Kart World, so I was just listening to the free roam music. And someone mentioned, "Oh, they made a Rave Baby Park remix." Like a Rave Baby Park remix. What the fuck are they talking about? I clicked the remix and yeah. and it just keeps going harder and harder and building upon itself. Like, have we entered adult park?
Yeah.
Teenage park?
As far as like regions go, I haven't done as much driving. I don't think I can say Rainbow Road because it's a track, not a region. Although that what you had said reminded me of there was some streamer or Let's Player that was playing as Cow on Rainbow Road, and someone had commented, "This is the best day of that cow's life." And that,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that like
Totally.
really made me laugh. But I'd say if I had to pick any area that I've kind of poked around and enjoyed, it's Boo Cinema.
Oh, I love
Good
Um,
Cinema.
taste. Good
yeah,
pick.
because like going into movie and kind of like driving on the film strip and whatnot, that's really cool. I wish they had varied pictures than just kind of like the shocked peach or whatever they have. But still, just conceptually, it's awesome, and then you can kind of drive around the theater itself, see the seating, see the concessions, see like all of that stuff, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we do have one last question from Steve, which is what's your impressions of backwards compatibility and titles perform better? And with Nintendo Switch Game 1's getting patched, have you played, or I guess are you planning to play any games on Switch 2 that you're holding back for just performance reasons on Switch 1?
I gave some spins to
Um,
Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom.
mm-hmm.
They both look and
Good.
run better. So that
Yeah.
it's a bit
If
of a shame that I quite recently did the Echoes of Wisdom replay. I if I had known it would have gotten a kick up for Switch 2, I would like save that. But I'm definitely gonna replay Link's Awakening now, to just like take advantage of the boost, you know. So getting those little like nudges up is really cool.
Tears of the Kingdom honestly would have been my answer for this because that game very frequently was 30 but dropped into like the
Yeah, yeah,
20s,
yeah.
especially when you were doing the building. So it's like,
Uh,
okay, it's gonna get enhanced by Switch 2. I'm gonna wait. So that is probably my answer. Of course, Steve, you know quite a few things about me. I have a feeling that you know what other game I'm going to answer, and that is I'm very tempted to do another 100% playthrough of Super Mario Odyssey to experience that game with HDR and slightly more stable performance. I love Odyssey. Probably still my favorite Switch 1 game.
Does it?
Um,
d-
so
Doesn't it also
I
have a resolution boost?
It
Yeah, I
does. It
believe
has a
so, yeah.
resolution, it has HDR, and minor performance bumps. It's a very it compared. It's certainly not on the scale of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It didn't really need that because it
Uh huh.
ran at a mostly smooth 60 already.
Mm-hmm.
But the small changes are really good. I'd also be down to like another Bowser's Fury playthrough, like a
Yeah,
handheld mode Bowser's Fury
that
playthrough. I've
one
already played that
was
game
rough.
twice,
Yeah.
but that would be yeah. But that running at an HDR smooth 60. Um, that is very exciting to me. I'm eager to do that.
So I still, speaking of Echoes of Wisdom, I still haven't finished it, so that would actually probably be a good one for me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, the two that I've been wanting to test, I haven't tried yet, but I know there's been a lot of excitement around Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I would
Mhm.
consider doing a new playthrough of that.
I haven't even touched it. I'm not really that much of a tech snob where I was just like, oh, it's buggy and whatever, so I refuse to touch it. I just kind of just never got around to it. But I've been interested in doing that. And the other one I picked out weirdly was just Harvestella.
Oh my
That
God! Yes.
Because I played a little bit of Harvestella when it came out, but not too deep into it. And it was fun, but I figured that's one benefit from a little more juice under the hood.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's such a good game. Good pick. Good pick.
Mhm.
Let's see. All right. Anybody have any final thoughts they want to get out on the Switch 2, launch, first impressions, all that?
I want to give a brief shout. I think I said my piece on Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but in Tears of the Kingdom especially, don't sleep on daily bonus in Zelda notes. It's a bit whatever in Breath of the Wild because you get like meal boosts and you have 24 hours to redeem your like one level stealth up, and it's like a bit like a bit underwhelming perhaps. But in Tears of the Kingdom, I got like bow repair as the daily bonus. It just like repaired all my bows. And it was really timely because I was fighting an Irakuda and my soldier's bow was damaged. So I just whipped up Zelda notes and was like, oh, bow repair, thank you. And it repaired all my bows.
Nice.
That was.
If I have, do I have any last thoughts on this? Oh yeah. We're getting a Splatoon spin-off.
Yeah,
Yes!
that
Holy
is
cow! Oh,
happening.
Splatoon Raiders looks great. I still need to try I still need to try Splatoon. I'm very eager to go back into Splatoon 3 and see those hubs at 60. Such a small thing about it. Yeah, performance buffs. Yeah, HR. No, no. I need to explore those hubs at 60 and be like, "Oh, this is what we've missed for 10
Yeah,
years."
totally, totally.
I need to play both of the base campaign of 3 and the DLC. I haven't played either
The
yet.
DLC is fantastic. Don't
Yeah.
I've
don't
heard
skip.
that. And I
Yeah.
really loved Octo Expansion, so I could definitely see it being really good.
Yeah, yeah, the original single player in the base single player in Splatoon 3 structured very similarly to Octo Expansion.
Mhm.
Side Order ends up doing its own thing with its roguelike structure. I do quite enjoy both. I quite enjoy both.
Yeah, same.
Okay, and then yeah, I didn't have any further thoughts, so I think that will do it for today.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, so just want to say thanks everyone who joined in on the thread. If you want to get on the conversation too, we have a pinned discussion thread for the Famiboards Discussion Club, so feel free to visit, drop your questions. We always appreciate talking about them. I just want to thank everyone, including Irene and VolcanicDynamo. I had a lot of fun today,
Yeah, me too. Ah!
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye bye.
All right, back to free roam with me. See you guys later.
Yeah.